this is Roger with iGadget Geek. Today I've got a couple of USB drives I wanted to show you guys. Now I received these from Kingston and I've just been very impressed with the capacity and the speed of these USB 3 drives. So you can see right here on the left is a 128 gigabyte HyperX 3.0. Basically has 128 gigabytes of storage and it is a USB 3. You have the front here that pops off. You have your USB. And then this will actually snap on the back. There again, 128 gigabytes. Then I also have this very small, very tiny USB 3. Now this is a 64 gig from Kingston. Now both of these, of course, have the fantastic transfer speeds that you get having USB 3. Now the first one here, the HyperX, you can pick both of these up at Amazon, and I will have a link in the description. That first one is the Kingston Digital HyperX 3.0. It is a 128 gigabyte. You can pick that up on Amazon Prime for $119.99. The second one is the Kingston Digital USB 3.0 Data Transfer Mini. Now I have the gray color. It is available in several different colors, several different sizes. Now that one does sell for about $40 to $45 depending on who is selling it on Amazon. Now back to the first one. It is 128 gig, but it is also available in a 256 version. So if 128 gigs is not enough on your USB 3, you can pick up this 256 gigabyte USB 3 stick. It's going to run you about $260. Now, also they have a 64 gig if maybe you don't need 128. If 64 gigs is enough, that one sells for $70. So let's go ahead and go back here to the drives themselves. I want to slide them out of the way. I have got my MacBook here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and open up my MacBook Pro. Now I'm going to plug both of these in to my MacBook Pro. So what I want to do is transfer some files for you guys to give you guys really an idea of just how fast these drives are. Now I've got my 64 gig and my 128 gig have both shown up. So I'm going to adjust my camera here just a little bit so you guys can see both of the drives are right here. You can see we have the 128. We'll go ahead and open that up. There you go. I don't actually have anything on it. So let's go ahead and we'll go over to our movies. And let's go ahead and pick up some files. So we'll go over to iTunes actually. We'll go to iTunes Media. Now we'll go to movies. This entire folder on this, let's see here. Let's get some info. It has got 9.45 gigs. So that'll give us a good idea. So let's go ahead and drag this entire folder over to the 128. We'll go ahead and place it in, and then we'll let that transfer. So as you can see right here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to give you guys a real good idea of just how fast this transfers. So you can see it's taken me about half the amount of time to get this focused in for you, but as you can see we are already over halfway through, less than a minute. So in all honesty, to transfer that 9.45 gigs probably takes about a minute, minute and a half. So as you can see, we are almost done. Now that is, of course, the HyperX 128 gig version. Now as soon as that is done, we'll go ahead and do the same copy over to the 64 gig. So let's close our 128. Okay, so let's repeat that same step for the 64 gig. We'll take the movies folder and copy it right over here to the 64 gig folder. So as you can see right there, it is copying. We already got about a minute remaining. Okay, it's showing 7 minutes. Now that is going to be the speed difference here between the HyperX and the USB, the 64 gig. Now the HyperX is by far their fastest data transfer. They're both USB 3, but the HyperX, of course, transfers files a lot faster. So this will still do it in pretty quick, about 5 to 7 minutes, which isn't bad considering we're copying almost 10 gigs over. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and fast forward this video to the end of the copy. Okay, that has finished copying, so we'll go ahead and zoom out here. Go ahead and eject both of these drives. Get my MacBook here out of the way. So in closing, these are some fantastic USB 3 drives from Kingston. I especially like this 128 gig HyperX. Very fast, going to give you great data transfer rates, plus it has a huge storage. Now the nice thing about this one, not as fast data transfer as the HyperX, but it doesn't cost as much. It is still 64 gig and it is extremely tiny. You could actually hang that on your name badge or put it on your keychain and have quite a bit of data with you without it taking up much room. Now on a side note, I have reviewed in the past the Kingston Mobile Light Wireless. Now both of these will plug directly into this Mobile Light Wireless and allow you to stream whatever videos are on both of these through this My Light Wireless. So that is kind of a very cool feature that both of these drives will work with the My Light Wireless. So it's a great way to, with the My Light Wireless, it's a great way to augment your internal storage in your devices. But all in all, if you're looking for some great little USB drives, I would definitely recommend these Kingston USB 3 drives. Now that has been my review of the Kingston USB 3 drives, and this has been Roger with iGadget Geek.